Prophecy number 10. Genesis 17:19. The seed of Isaac. Supposedly fulfilled in Romans 9:7. Genesis 17:19 states, Then God said, Yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. Supposedly fulfilled in Romans 9:7, which states, Nor because they are descendants are they all Abraham's children. On the contrary, it is through Isaac that your offspring will be reckoned. Now, I really try to put on my thinking cap when I try to analyze these prophecies, but honestly, it states, Then God said, Yes, but your wife Sarah will bear you a son, and you will call him Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him as an everlasting covenant for his descendants after him. Does this sound like a prophecy exclusively speaking about Jesus? No, it's talking about every Jew who lived after Isaac, stating that they were also included in the covenant. So that means me and possibly you if you decide to drop Christianity and become Jewish, and even Noahides. We're just kidding. Noahides are not included. Friends, I wish I could spend more time in this prophecy, but there is just nothing there but a beautiful verse incorrectly labeled as a prophecy by the church. So this is not a prophecy. Moving on. Prophecy number 11. Genesis 22:8. The Lamb of God promised. Supposedly fulfilled in John chapter 1 verse 29. Genesis 22:8 states, Abraham answered, God will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son. And the two of them went on together. Supposedly fulfilled in John 1:29, which states, The next day John saw Jesus coming toward him and said, Look, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. Now, this verse is one of the verses that Christians refer to most when witnessing to Jews. Why? Because it has it all. A father sacrificing his son, a lamb being sacrificed instead of the son. It's yelling new covenant on every word. They say, why did Abraham state that God would provide the lamb? What could he possibly have meant? Because at that instance, God did not provide a lamb. We actually see that after Abraham's test, God provided a ram. You see? God is talking about when he will sacrifice himself as the lamb for humanity. Clear as mud? Those who have been harassed by missionaries know what I mean. So listen carefully. So next time you could squirm away. Huh? What could Abraham have been referring to by saying God will provide the lamb? Well, like Christians, you don't have to wait 3,000 years for the answer, because we see in the same book of Genesis that he was clearly speaking about the Passover lamb. Just as our father Abraham was tested in order to prove his worthiness and willingness to be the father of God's appointed people on earth, the Hebrews in Egypt also had to have their faith tested to prove their devotion to the calling. We see later on that through this test, the Hebrews were worthy to receive the Torah and Mount Sinai and ultimately solidify their role as ambassadors of the Almighty to the world. Actually, if Christians really knew how paganly twisted the concept of the Lamb of God was in biblical times, they would never have adopted it as a doctrine. In Pharaoh's Egypt, the lamb was actually a sacred god, and killing a lamb was even a capital offense. That is why Moses refused Pharaoh's request for the Jews to bring their sacrifice to God in Egypt. In Exodus 8:26, it states, Moses explained to Pharaoh that if the Israelites were to kill lambs before the Egyptians, they would be stoned to death. God, in his greatness, used this as an opportunity to test the faith of the Hebrew people by commanding them to make a public spectacle of the God that Egyptians held dear by slaughtering it, and more than just slaughtering it, smearing its blood all over the door for everyone to see. There you go, lamb chops. Furthermore, the Torah never states anywhere that the Passover lamb atones for sin. So really, the idea of Jesus being the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of the world is not a Jewish one. So this one is a prophecy and was not fulfilled by Jesus. If you're interested in learning more about Judaism, please visit our website, bejewish.org. Thank you.